Welcome. Welcome to Thoughts Roundup. I would like today to continue the verbal memoirs. Uh, I don't know how long I will go with that, but I hope not to bore you too much. But I want to go one more day at least. Yesterday I told you about when I was in Dallas. My wife and I was in Dallas building the church, and how that we were blessed with getting an organ given to our new church for our first revival. Well, several years later, Brother R.E. Johnson, many of you will remember him, and some of you have just heard of him maybe. He preached all over the country and was a good preacher. And he came to Richardson, Texas, which joins Dallas, to pastor. Well, he got time that he needed some musical instruments for his church. Well, he knew that this music company had been kind to our church in giving us the organ. So he thought he'd kind of dip in on the blessing. I'm sure that's what he thought. But here's what he told me. He said, I went into the music company and he said, I told the man in charge, I said, I asked him, I said, do you remember giving Brother Marler and his church an organ? He said, Reverend, would you come back to my office with me? And he said, well, sure. And the man walked back. And when he got there, there was a window behind his desk, a big picture window behind his desk. And he said, do you see that parking space right there? He said, yes. He said, that's right where Brother Marler parked that day. And he said, and then tears had filled his eyes. And he said, I don't count myself as a super spiritual person. And I never had any kind of visitation from heaven in any way. He said, but something spoke to me and said, when he saw me parked there and I got out of my car, he said he walked right down that walkway right there. And he said, the voice spoke to me and said, whatever that man wants, give it to him. And he said, so I walked out on the showroom floor. And that's when Brother Marler told me that he needed to rent an organ. We told him we didn't have any old organs, or we didn't rent the new ones. And he said he was not able to buy a new one. And that's why I said to him, what would you say if I just gave you an organ? Well, I want to tell you, I take that very, very serious. And there's been times that I felt maybe left out, or felt maybe things wasn't going to work out, or maybe things didn't work out. But I always knew And I always remembered that God knows where I am. He knows what I need. And He's right there with me. To Brother Johnson, it probably just was, he recognized the miraculous in it. But I've lived off of that for the rest of my life. I've lived off of it. Whatever that man wants, give it to him. Thank you so very much for sharing in a verbal memoir.